Good Friday, everybody. We are doing an experiment this week on the Gray Swan Guild News Wrap. Every week for the last 21 weeks, we have got an esteemed group of guilders together to actually pull together what just happened with the week that was and how do we make sense of it and hopefully help people that are reading it. With me, I have our lead editor of the week, Agustin. Borrasas, welcome. We have Rob Tyrie, the founder of the News Rep, and we have Lindsay, Fraser, integral person from the Day of the Swan and also key contributor to the News Rep as well. And so what we want to do is just, we're going to, every Friday we surface this article called the News Wrap. And as editors, we just want to have, ourselves, point to at least two different articles that we surfaced this week that we thought should have a little bit more airtime and maybe provide some implications. With that in mind, I will turn it over to our lead editor who's put a ton of sweat equity into this week, Agustin Borrasas. What's one article that surfaced this week that you want to talk about, Agustin?
There were a few themes of the week. I think I'm leading the wrap with two themes that are global perspectives and cyber attacks, cyber terrorism. But the article that I choose to lead now is much talked about. El Salvador is embracing Bitcoin as a legal tender, and it's the first country, and it's an emerging market country, and it's a Latin American poor country, which gives us certain perspectives of where is this going. Is it a bullish market, a bearish market? We've seen a bearish market now for the past probably 2 weeks. This news was huge, but it didn't make a mesh into the price of Bitcoin. It didn't go up or climb. It was like struggling between bearish and bullish. But this is the type of news that they have to be considered, right? To like who else is the next one and adopting. And in the wrap, we are touching the subject that Paraguay, which is not Uruguay, is probably the second one adopting or embracing some crypto project with Bitcoin and PayPal on the back.
We're living in interesting times, Agustin. Who would have thought 5 years ago a national country would have, Bitcoin as a currency? Rob, which article did you surface this week as being really interesting?
Well, in Gray Swan tradition, I'll lean to the positive, and then hopefully our friends in El Salvador and Paraguay will be able to use their Bitcoin to buy new vaccines from Biogen, because I want to talk about Biogen. So Biogen is the inventor of the Moderna vaccine, which is an mRNA vaccine. And now it's emerging as this success and as a 91% success rate in some of the measures that are being done, which is an amazing result beyond expectation. The science is now opened up and focusing harder on that style of vaccine because of its rapid turn, its ability to match to new types of DNA and viruses. So we're seeing already evidence that clinical trials are going on in malaria studies, in influenza studies. So we'll have new flu vaccines that may be more effective across wider things. And if we all remember, COVID-19 is a coronavirus. Well, so is the common cold. So maybe Biogen's Nobel Prize will be for curing the common cold.
Common cold. Wow. Way to bring that one home. Interesting. And it does speak to like, wow, will we extend our life to be 150 years old, right? Just some of these things being cured. Lindsay, Fraser, you've looked at the news wrap for the week. What one did you want to highlight?
Get 150 years, man. Try 24,000. Okay. So, apparently over there in Siberia, they have been drilling and somehow identified some organism called a Belloid Rotifer, some waterborne beastie that they're going to potentially be able to bring back to life. And so then that brings me to thinking, you're talking about Biogen, you're talking about cyber terrorism, I'm thinking bioterrorism. I'm thinking, what will they do with this devilish thing. And who will do it? You know, hardly the guys are running the rig, right? So here's this discovery, but what is to be done with this discovery, and in whose hands, and you know, where could it go?
Very,
of course, you know, being the shallow individual I am, I'm thinking Jurassic Park.
I was completely going there, right?
I know, you can't help it.
Yeah. No, it's sometimes we just don't know the order of things that we're hatching amongst ourselves, do we?
Mm-hmm.
Agustin, you chose so well your articles this week. I had a tough time narrowing it down to two. One that I find very interesting, and I actually called somebody on Zoom out today on this. I said, wow, your suit is impeccable. She was wearing a pristine pink blazer suit. And I go, chances are, I bet there's track pants underneath there. And sure enough, she showed, and there was some kind of like something that you would probably only wear to either bed or like on Friday night in front of your couch. And so busted. And there was an article that you surfaced this week, Agustin, about people returning back to work. So people are returning back to work now. Like this is a real meme now. And people are saying, no, I'm wearing track pants. I'm wearing my Lululemons back to work. And so I think we have irrevocably changed the future of work. But I think there's a question here in terms of, will we look back at movies where people went to work with suits, or dare I even say it, a top hat back in the 1920s or 30s? We'll view those things as such interesting time capsules of a bygone time. You know, we've seen Brooks Brothers go out of business. We've seen a whole bunch of different formal wear companies go out of business. I think for the most part, remember when we used to have something called Casual Fridays, and it was your allowance for charity to not wear the suit? I think we're going to return to a period where it's like, yeah, for charity, you can wear your suit on Fridays, but for the most part, we're accepting the fact that you're wearing track pants, shorts, or leisure wear in the company. And just so I know, to prove me out, I looked at Lululemon's financial results. They are up 88% year over year. So in an era when people aren't buying a lot of new clothes, Lululemon and its competitors are completely kicking it out of the ballpark. So that I found fascinating. Agustin, over to you again. What was your second most interesting article, Agustin?
We start the week developed through Jeff Bezos going to space with his brother. And the interesting fact is that he's stepping down as the Amazon CEO, and that his childhood dreams were fueled by space, and he's achieving that like myself. And probably how crazy is that every rap that we've been doing with the Gray Swan, if you look 10 editions back, every single one has space on it. Are we actually coming to the time period of, is this the space odyssey 2021? Is it like right now how we arrive to the period that we only are going to consume news that Elon Musk is going to Mars, Jeff Bezos is going to the lunar station? I mean, because it has to mark a precedent that a CEO and some big public figure and the billionaires first are the guys allowed to play with the toys, right? I think it's that. They are proving that. It's like, I'm the wealthiest man, what shall I do? It's like, I will go and tour space and orbit Earth and come back and have a bunch of selfies. I don't know, prove me wrong, but there's mass media around the subject for sure behind the agenda for this year and next.
I wonder if he'll take some Belloid rotifers with him.
Well, if he doesn't take some,
somewhere else.
Hey, you laugh about that though, Lindsay, but I read this week that I think it was SpaceX launched some stuff into space. They launched living stuff into space to see how long that it would live. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting what we're doing, but I do find that's almost a Netflix plot line, or I guess in Bezos's case, an Amazon Prime documentary special in terms of, you know, Send a billionaire into space and see what he likes now, right? Like, where are all my amenities that I find on Earth? I can't get them now, Jeff. So interesting stuff. Rob, you changed your background. Is there a reason you changed your background?
Well, I've got my turn to lead in, but I want to just see if I can wrap in avocados to Mr. Musk, and I don't think I can. Which surprises me nonetheless. I do know I grew up reading Marvel comics. When I was a teenager, I used to read Iron Man. So I do like waking up in the morning when I read the newspaper, and it's as if I was opening up a comic book and seeing what was going on in Disney Plus land in streaming world, who owns the Marvel franchise right now. But the other last one, and then I guess speaking of wraps, what we often put in our wrap is just that extra thing. The other story that I picked up from Agustin that I want to talk about this weekend is avocados. Not your grandpa's avocados, because all of a sudden there's a surge in the sales of avocado coming from Mexico into North America, and it's not just because we're eating more at Subway. There's an interesting economy happening. And what happened a couple of years ago in the legalization of cannabis, a major illegal crop in Mexico and illegal across the border, but nonetheless a huge business. In the legalization in the US and in Canada, there was a reduction on demand for cannabis, so the prices dropped. So farmers, being farmers and business people, started planting avocados to make money, and that increased the supply, which reduced the price. But the reduction in price, because avocados are so beautiful in food,
So
cause an increase overall in the fire that's been set under the guacamole of the future. And if I was Elon Musk and I was in SpaceX up in space, I would want a tube of fresh Mexican avocado guacamole with me for my space taco.
I love it. Lindsay, I know you were pretty firm. It's like I got the one article. So
got the one article, but I have to tell you, I've got a bag of avocados on the counter there that cost me $2.40.
And what are you going to do with those? What are you going to do with those avocados, Lindsay?
What am I not going to do with those avocados? I can smear them on anything and everything, because avocado is the magic fruit.
Why do you think it's a magic fruit? It was sometimes rumored that the apple that the snake tricked Eve with was not an apple. Indeed, it was an avocado.
Well, then, more than apt that Rob Tyrie is the one talking about avocados.
I did not catch that article about Adam and Eve. Was that on BuzzFeed, Rob? That seems like breaking news.
Allegedly, Sean, that may have been made up, and we may have to edit this one out because I just made that up.
All right. Well,
that would be a first.
Good to hear Lindsay speak a second time, even if she didn't have a second article picked out. I picked on my second article the 4-year degrees. Most tech firms do not require you to have a 4-year university degree to join their organizations, which most professors are going to hate me saying this, so I have a number of people's ears in the world burning right now. But a couple things. One, we have not fundamentally changed how we educate people for the last 200 years. That is completely wrong and idiotic. And if you're a teacher and you're supposed to be about learning and improving along with society, shame on the industry of education. Two, the whole notion of, in a world where we're all going to be live to be 90 years anyway, that all of your education needs to happen in the first 12 years of your life is crazy as well. And so I think this may represent another disruption on that notion as well. And then finally, I don't know if you've looked at it, but there are plenty of educational tools online that may not approximate a real life education, but even if there's 60% or 50% close to that, if you look at the cost of sending a child to the University of Chicago, and I saw this the other day, it's something on the order of, I'll probably get the figure wrong, but it's probably closer around 80,000 Canadian dollars. If I learn those same skills across LinkedIn skills and Coursera and a few other things, and granted, I don't get the life experience of going to school, I'm likely paying low $1,000 at most in terms of subscriptions and things. So there is an inequity that will have to sort itself out over the next couple of years. But I do think companies are woken up to the fact, maybe better people are actually the people that are actually working and doing the skill stuff and maybe not spending time doing stuff that might not make sense. So that's a bit of a rant, but I thought that was an interesting declaration by some of the tech firms this week, Agustin. We're going to go around the room and just, I think this was Rob's idea. It's a good kind of summary. Like, what is one word that captures what we're thinking about right now, Agustin? What is one word?
Guacamole.
It is Friday late afternoon, so that's perfectly all right.
It's a melange of beauty. It's spice. It's cilantro. It is the best vegetable on earth. Easy to eat on crisp corn chips.
Yes, definitely.
It's a good word, Sean. It's a good word. It's a metaphor to what I would say. My word, it's 2 words, is the Roaring '20s. I'm buying in this week. The Roaring '20s
we're going
are coming
back
at us in waves, like the pandemic. It won't be all over the world, but there will be moments that people will take a picture from 1920 and they're going to overlay it with now, and we're going to like, wow, it happened, just like Sean said it would.
Oh man, that is
roaring '20s.
I love the prediction. Lindsay, what's a one word that comes to mind?
Well, I'm going back to the guacamole because I'm about to lay down $25,000 for my daughter to go and have a 1-year university experience, the first. And the reason I'm laying down that money, apart from the fact that I am compelled to, is because I want her to have the guacamole. I don't want her to just have an avocado that she could get on LinkedIn or a bit of cilantro, through APMG or someplace like that. I want her to get messed up in the full guac. But I'm kind of hoping that after 1 year of that, she's going to come home, clean up her act, and go after one thing at a time and be affordable.
Yeah. Nicely said.
Well said.
I know there's pro-lifers, and I don't even want to get into this discussion. Like that's an unwinnable one. But I am pro-real life this week. I am seeing patios open up. I am seeing people in retail. We've just exited stage 1. And as I mentioned on a call earlier on today, as much as I've reappraised my own life in terms of how I lead it, hopefully in important ways, this week I'm all about celebrating and craving what I've missed since 2019. Real life, real connection, real frosty beers on real patios with real people of interest. So I look forward to future days where I'm staring at 3 people right now. We're all sitting on the same patio, having your guac, having my beer, and talking about crypto with Agustin. That would be a big
Wouldn't that be a time? A picture, please. Another picture, please.
Nice. Agustin, your choice to go back to, since you've done a great job in the news wrap this week. Did we cover off your word? Was it truly guacamole?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Wow.
The only thing I'd say for the rest of the guild is we've had a number of ateliers happen. We had one this morning. Next week, we have a salon conversation happening June 16th. We're talking about personal transformations and what you have changed in yourself over the last, call it 16 months, and how you might be a better person for it. So look forward to having people join us at grayswanguild.org/calendar to see when and where that is. And to all my gang out here, thanks for doing this experiment. Maybe we'll do it again. Enjoy your week.
Guys.
Everyone, all at once. This is a wrap. This is a wrap. This is a wrap. Everyone, this is a wrap of the wrap.
Wrap.
Be good, everybody. Have a great week.
One cut. We'll see you on Sundays. We'll talk. Lindsay, call me, baby.
Yeah, I'll call you right now. I'm going to get the dog.
Bye.
See you guys.
Yeah, good work.